real good demo on turquoise. And I do that some at the house, and I've used alabaster and turquoise. And it sounds like you're killing some bad animal when you do that in Blender, but it works real well. So what I've done is some different items and come up with some different things. Now, one of the first things I did was I turned this lamp out of this trunk of an oak tree that was about to fall on my shop. And so I was trying to find something to fill the cracks with, and believe it or not, this is fiberglass resin and carpenter's chalk. Fiberglass resin can be colored fairly easily. It's not hard to color. It doesn't shrink. It works real well. And I've got several things here that I'm going to show you just real quick. And I don't know how many of you, I've used body filler, Bondo. If you go buy this high performance wood filler from Minwax, it's Bondo. High price Bondo is all it is. But it is a wood filler. The trick to this, if you're going to color it, is to get the cream hardener the same color or a light color instead of the dark red. Otherwise, it's going to kind of change things a little bit. Anyway, I've done, and I did, a lady came to one of the craft shows I did, and she said, have you got a bowl with a crack in the bottom of it? I said, yeah, I got lots of it at the house. Why? And she said, I want one yellow or green. Well, yellow and green is not easy to come by.
Blue.
Yeah, really. So I went to Hobby Lobby. I got some sidewalk chalk that was green and yellow in a package. Blended it in a blender, put super glue in it, and it turned the ugliest split green color you've ever seen in the yellow. And the green, I thought, well, that'd be green. No, it turned out to be some sort of gray color. So it didn't turn out very good. I've got this. I'm just going to real quick knock this down, pass it around, and we'll be done because it's so hot in here. I don't want to keep everybody. But this is body filler, super glue body filler, and fiberglass resin. I like fiberglass resin as opposed to casting resin because it dries a lot faster. Casting resin to me is too thin to work with in a big area. You wind up having to build tape dams and everything else around, keep it running out the end of it. The last time I used the stuff, I thought I had it hemmed up. I taped it on a lamp. I guess there was a crack somewhere. I came out there the next morning, there's a puddle in the floor. And it run through a crack out the back end. So it's a little thin, but the fiberglass resin, you can mix it with chalk, you can mix it with glitter. Oh, by the way, the bowl I did, what I wound up doing is I went to Bruce's hot rod shop down at Rehoboth, and I was in there doing some woodworking on an old car. I said, I'm trying to do something, you know. He said, well, I got some yellow metallic flakes. So I thought it was cool. I went back and looked, and it was the metallic they put in paint, real fine metallic. And I didn't think she would mind that. And that's what I filled it with CA glue and the fine metallic. And it looked like, it had a little sheen to it. And Bob, you tried the brass from the key companies. It just doesn't pop. It just doesn't have any, to me, it's just a little
dull.
Yeah, a little dull and doesn't have much sheen to it. What I have found it works pretty well is you go to a place that cuts a lot of aluminum, like an awning or make these pool enclosures and stuff, and get their shavings, the aluminum shaving. Now those look pretty good. It's a good metallic shaving. Somehow the brass keys, you put it with CA or fiberglass or anything else, the time you turn it, it gets dull. It just looks horrible. It just didn't look good. Now if you're going to, on CA, probably most of you have done this more than I have, but on CA, if you're going to cut it with a tool, instead of sand it, you can see I've cut this a little bit, and this is not thin. What I use most of the time is a scraper. You can use a skew, but it seems like to me a round nose, just a regular scraper works good at high speed. And just real light pressure, and then sand from there. I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll be done. I'll pass this around. If it happens to come off the lathe, just pass it wherever it lands. It'll be okay.
And it'll catch you.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll land wherever. And thing on safety, real quick, read a thing this week, told Becky about it. The guy was using a 4-jaw chuck, and he just did what I do a lot of times. I'm bad about holding the tool in my hand while I'm doing other things. And he was doing that, had a 4-jaw chuck. I guess I know the jaws were sticking out. And he had evidently, I'm guessing on this, he had a tool with a square handle on it. It was a parting tool. And he turned it around, it's obviously shorter than this, and got it against the jaw of the chuck and drove it through his chin.
Wow.
It wasn't a terribly serious injury, but I know it was sore for a few days. It's one of those things that if you're going to do anything, like anything else, lay the tool down, get it out of your hand, and then you go do something. I'm the world's worst about moving things around and doing things over here that you can normally do with the lathe running, but you know, you got that tool flopping around, so watch it, you know. That's one of those things that buyer beware. And this didn't come out, when I transferred the center from one lathe to the other, it didn't come out real good. We'll try to see what's going to cut. So what the trick to this is stay either dead center, slightly below center, and a very light cut with the tool sitting perfectly level. If you angle the tool down, it's going to dig in and probably pull your filler out. And this is poplar, so the wood is softer than the filler material. You kind of have to deal with that too. And the trick to this, rather than have to turn way off a dozen times, is watch the wood on either side and see when it turns the same, you get that color out of it. But I left the blue the way it was. It pulled a lot, there was a lot of voids and stuff in it. I like the voids as far as the holes and pinholes in it. It looks more natural. It looks like a natural material, even though it's not. And you'll see there's some voids in this, and I left those on purpose to show you, yeah, you're going to have to go back and fill it 2 or 3 times sometimes. The trick is, with things that you're putting a color in, is remember how much color you put in. Because if you go back and change it, it's going to change the color. And I've done that I don't know how many times.
Paul?
Yeah.
Show how you address the tool again to the wood.
Yeah, it's a very light cut, but when if you look at the tool, you look at the wood, it's sitting here as a sphere, and you actually just dead level. You don't want to angle it up any. Normally you would angle it up to shade the wood, and actually slightly down doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Somehow it wants to pull out thin. Dead level works better than anything else, and I don't really have much trouble with pulling the filler. And it very seldom ever comes, in any amount, comes out. But like I said, the mix and color, and what I do is use so many drops. I use a medicine dropper for X amount of filler. Now, if you're going to use body filler, and you mix the color with it, it's going to thin it down. It'll take a little longer to dry than it normally does. It stays in that cheesy, rubbery state a little longer, which is good. You can cut the bulk of it off while it's in that state, and then go ahead and finish it.
What do you use to color your resin, your fiberglass?
It's fiberglass and the body filler are both aniline dye. Fiberglass, believe it or not, you use food color.
Huh.
And it'll take it. Most fiberglass will take it.
Yeah.
Now, this is just plain fiberglass. Most fiberglass is either gray or slightly blue tint to it. Maybe you might call it purple in some cases, but it tints pretty well.
Have you tried a West system?
I have. It works pretty well. I just didn't have
You
any.
use polyester artist paint.
Yeah, and the other thing that works fine in that is chalk. The minerals will work fine in the West as long as you don't put too much and weaken it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you have any problem with the color bleeding?
I don't. Now, if you
Into wood?
use just a pure aniline dye, yeah, it'll bleed. But if you put it in a filler or a glue or something, it typically doesn't. I don't have any problem with that. And the only reason I showed using a tool to cut it is it's a lot quicker and a lot cleaner, and I get a cleaner cut. The glitter with the super glue came out pretty good. The others need a little more touch-up. Fiberglass came out real well. Now, I tape around fiberglass if I can. Just put tape around it. And fiberglass is thin enough on this. I turned it, and what I did was I put the fiberglass in it, taped it, and did that with my lathe and walked off and left it. It's like a rotisserie. It keeps it from wanting to swing off, but yet it keeps it even. When I got through, it was a perfectly even coat. I hardly even had to touch it. Just peel the tape off. I don't tape around the Bondo. I don't tape around the CA glue because you won't get the tape on.
How long do you leave your lathe running like that?
Bad answer till it's dry. The mixing board I use, I leave the mixing board over there and put a tongue compressor in it. When it's dry, then I'll leave it just, as long as it dries, it's okay.
The reason I asked is because Billy Baxley told me he did that once and left his lathe running overnight.
Yeah. I know that.
And burnt the motor out in his lathe.
Yeah, this one was maybe, as hot as it was yesterday, maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't long. Fiberglass resin, you can activate it. It's like bonding a lot of things. You can activate it to the point where it sets so fast you can't work with it. CA glue can be the same way. I've used the thin, I've used the thick. And one thing to watch on big cracks, like if you're using CA, fill the crack with whatever thickness CA you're going to use, activate that, and then activate it as you're going up. If you put a whole bunch in there, you activate it, and you see it skim over, it's hard, you start to cut it, and start to cut it with a lathe tool. You cut that skim, you'll always be wearing a nice coat of speckles all over, because it'll sling that super glue all over. Yeah, it's wonderful with glasses. It'll ruin glasses.
Well, you know, I went to my eye doctor. I got several specks on here still, and asked him. I tried acetone on one pair, ruined a pair of glasses. I tried scrape on another one, ruined another pair of glasses. I went to him and asked him, he said denatured alcohol.
Yeah.
He rubbed it on there, takes it right off the glass.
But I use mineral spirits to take it off, too. I don't know why you use mineral spirits.
The best thing to do
Yeah,
is
face
don't-
shield's the best thing, yeah.
The best
face
thing to
shield.
do is don't turn the label on while the super glue's still wet.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, that's true. When you skim over it like that, I've done it, where you think I've hardened everything real good. Go off and leave it. You know, I get in too big a hurry sometimes. I have a big crack, and I'll cut over the top of it or sand over the top. Next thing you know, you feel it. You know, it's like it hits you. And you look like you've got the measles and it's colored. You know, it's kind of strange. And then anybody can tell you that CA glue will stick to skin better than stick to any other property. I don't know why, but it'll stick to skin better than anything else.
is so great.
That's it. Yeah, I use the face shield and I use the helmet.
Anytime, yeah.
The fumes, I keep a fan behind me when we use the CA, keep the fumes out of you.
Yeah.
The fumes on this stuff, especially when you activate it, can get pretty tough. And so that's about all I'm gonna tell you today. Like I said, it's hot in here. You can go to Bracken Wholesale and they have the dyes. They put them in bottles like this for a couple of bucks and it works real well. And even I've used this. You've seen the two-part epoxy putties that you fix plumbing with?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've used that. And this is metal, and it actually works. But what the trick to this is, roll a little, like you roll a modeling plate, put it in the groove, make your groove a little deeper than you normally would for CA. Press it in there, and I've got a little roller, a little tiny roller, like a roller for rolling the screens, and hold it at low speed and just roll that in and get all the voids out. Typically, you don't have to go back and do it. This stuff's hard. I don't use 5-minute epoxy. It's too hard. If any of you ever used it, it works great, but it's too hard to operate. Now, the West system and some other a little softer. The 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1-hour epoxies are good, but they tend to be a funky color. The 15 minutes kind of orangish yellow, and you can't dye it to do any good. I've tried, and this stuff just turns some weird color and activated real quick and had a mess.
You ever tried water putty?
I have.
How'd that work?
Water
I've
putty's
tried it,
okay
I've tried
in natural color. I've never had much luck getting it to take any kind of tint. You know, it's fine if you want it to look like wood. This looks like metal. Metal set will look like metal, but if you don't use metal set, which is two-part epoxy, turn it while it's still in that slightly soft stage and sand it. So all you have to do is final sand it. Because what it'll do is, it's got some metal in it. What it'll do is transfer the grain of the wood, the dust wood.
Probably Billy Larry be able to answer this. How about putting acrylic in if you got a big crack? Would he mix the acrylic?
Yeah, that's good. You can do that. The thing I typically go with is something that dries fast. Because otherwise, like I said, I'm building a big dam around it with tape and trying to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
If you don't put acrylic in it, I would think you probably have to seal it with the tape.
Yeah.
Keep it from
It will.
sticking out of it.
Like I said, I used the casting acrylic, which is casting resin, which is an acrylic. And I thought I had it hemmed up with one of those lamps similar to that. And the next morning, I had a puddle in the floor. And the stuff typically takes up to 24 hours to dry, which is normally not a problem. But I use things that dry faster so that you can build them and keep an eye on them while you're there. And but like I said, the only thing, if you use the body filler, if you can find the cream hardener, like I said, in a gray or white, it's a lot easier to use. You can use any color, and sometimes you come up with some really unusual colors you're not expecting. This green is glitter, just a jar of glitter I bought at Hobby Lobby, and that works pretty well. If you go to Ken's Auto Body, he's got the powder for. I haven't tried it, but I'm going to use the pearl. The pearls, I'm going to try some of that, see what that looks like in a bigger area. And he's got the metal flakes and stuff like that. And the flakes may be too big, put them in a blender. You can blend them just fine. Yeah, go ahead.
You talking about using brass as a filler. I tried that, and you're right. It turns dull. It won't.
I know, it just.
Nothing.
You think it? I was all excited. I thought it was going to work great. It just didn't. You know, it didn't look good. You know.
I think if you could find somebody that is studying anodized aluminum,
Yeah.
gold colored anodized aluminum, it would work like the silver.
Yeah, I think so. And I've used the straight aluminum, and I've actually I've got quite a bit of aluminum in my shop. I do wood parts for old airplanes. I got a fair amount of aluminum. Sometimes I'll put it on the lathe and actually just cut some shavings off. And that works pretty well, but I went to Dothan Auto and got some from them off there. So they thought I was crazy. I want some of your shavings off your saw. And they looked at me like, you know, what do you want that for? I said, well, I do, you know, filling and lathe stuff. I said, that's what I want for them. So that's all I got. I don't say it's so hot in here, I'm not going to keep anybody longer. If you have any questions, it's, but if you got a crack in something, don't throw it away. Fill it with something. It's always fun to do. It's a lot of fun. If you got a crack all the way through, obviously just take the back side. And then, you know, when you turn the back side of the project, like a platter or bowl, just work it and you need to fill it in. But like I said, those little pinholes, I'll leave those pinholes. It looks a lot more natural. It does it. It's perfectly slick with the wood grain around it. And most wood, this is a fairly soft wood I use, it's poplar. So it's a relatively soft wood. But you can use about any wood will work. The harder the wood, of course, the better I think it works. But yeah, it's fun to do. And sometimes I will cut right in between two layers. I don't get a glue joint just right. I'll cut with a parting tool and add my glue joint and put something in there to fill it, you know, hide my glue joint. So, you know, that happens occasionally. I'm sure I'm the only one that ever has back glue joints, you know, that's, yeah. And by the way, how many of you cut the bottom of a bowl? Yeah, I did it the other day. Yeah, I did it with somebody standing there watching me too. It was like, yeah, okay, that was smart. Yeah.
How many of you have ever turned the bow?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody that ever turned the bowl has done that. Yeah.
While you're up, Paul, go ahead and tell about your president's shout.
Okay, this is a corporate. Anybody that's ever worked for a company can appreciate this. It's given to the company, and I will pass this along to some company that needs it. The Hindsight Award, and it's maple, walnut, and cherry, and plastic and metal. But anyway, it's a Hindsight Award. I did cut this on CNC and used tinted lacquer, sprayed the tinted lacquer, and put it back on the lathe and sanded it off. So that's how you do that. It got into grain a little bit. It's not bad. It came out okay. But that's it. Now I've just cut it on a bandsaw and sanded it a little bit. Put it all together.
What kind of mirror is that?
AutoZone. It's a generic replacement, like $6 from AutoZone. So I said, yeah, why not? So I couldn't find one of the hot rod shop. He had one off the 57 Corvette. And I said, I'm not even borrowing that. $200. I'm not even going to borrow that for a day or two. That thing disappears, you know. Yeah, I'll probably have to float along to buy a replacement mirror for one of those.